What's going on, gamers? It's your boy D2DE, and today we're talking about Amazon bringing out the big guns, announcing big plans for multiple games through different studios set to either be released or in development as the company giant seeks to not only make its mark in the industry, but more substantially and seemingly become a pillar of force to be reckoned with. Let's talk about it. If you're new to the channel, please consider liking this video right down below. And if you're looking for more content based on Amazon, especially New World, which is the game I'm going to be covering for the most of, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell so that you can be notified of all the videos that I upload on the reg. With most of us building on the hype of Amazon's new upcoming New World MMO, and the game not even being in beta testing yet, it may come as a surprise to hear or perhaps remember the company did announce last year that they are working on another MMO, Lord of the Rings. Now, the new Lord of the Rings is going to be set in a time long before the events of Lord of the Rings that we all know and love, exploring lands, people, and creatures never before seen by fans of the Tolkien universe. There's rumors that Amazon might be doing a December 2021 release date, but for now, let's focus on what we have next month. With the launch of the first original game, the sci-fi shooter Crucible, the game in which developers by Relentless Studios in Seattle is due to also launch in May as well. On top of all that, former Sony online entertainment boss John Smedley is running a new Amazon game studio in San Diego. Though no official titles have been announced yet, like many other game studios as of now, Amazon's team seem to be working from home and development continues, but one would come to wonder, can the studios keep up with all the things that they're doing in the ever-demanding world we gamers live in without stretching themselves out too far? Is this large bar that they're setting for themselves going to be sustainable over time? Over the years, the studio has really struggled to make its breakout title. Though starting in the app industry since 2010, it wasn't until last year when they released the Grand Tour game that this studio really started to creep into the mainstream market, starting with PS4 and Xbox. With this game doing subpar, was awarded a score of 52 out of 100 for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox. By one review website, Metacritic received mixed to average reviews ranging between 5.8 to 8.0 out of a 10 rating over 17 reviews. Now, 2 years after the studio's initial announcement at the September 2016 TwitchCon, the studio revealed 3 PC games that they're going to be working on. One was called Breakaway, the second was Crucible, and the third was New World. Now, Breakaway was set to be a team-based multiplayer brawler video game.
Here we go, into the match. Ballista from Ann Bonnie, you see a buildable, it's got a bit of range.
Wow,
it's
a lot of
homing
buildables
attack.
going down. Of course, those buildables persist round to round, so really important to try and destroy them. We've got to fight over the relic right now at the center.
Yeah, relic in the center of the stage, you see it there. Vicious picks it up. Now, one thing to keep in mind, while holding the relic, you cannot attack. And if you do happen to get hit by the enemy, the relic will just pop straight up in the air.
Off the arena like she goes.
Well, Vicious.
And even though Open Alpha was released in 2016 in December, the project was ultimately iced with this response.
In spite of our efforts, we didn't achieve the breakthrough that made the game what we all hoped it could be. After a lot of soul searching, the team decided to focus on new ideas. As a result, Breakaway is no longer in active development.
Then there's Crucible, a 12-player class-based game in which players form alliances to become the last man standing. Though it is also set to release in May, not much is known about this game at the time, or at least I couldn't find more than a description upon searching the studio's site. And of course, the New World MMO, also set to release in May, already has gamers asking questions, forming opinions on both sides of the fence. On top of all that, Amazon is also developing a full-fledged gaming cloud platform under the codename Project Tempo, as well as new casual games for game broadcasters on its popular Twitch streaming service that can play alongside viewers in real time. More on that in a different video. It's not a secret that anybody could probably guess that the company is said to have invested hundreds of millions of dollars trying to become a major player in the games business. The company has bestowed the name Relentless Studios on its flagship game operations in Seattle. Now, if you don't know why that's relevant, it's because Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, initially thought naming his online book service Relentless. Imagine that, not Amazon. That'd be crazy. Think about that for a second. It's also said that writer Brad Stone, who wrote the book The Everything Store, wrote,
Friends suggested Relentless sounded a bit sinister, but something about it must have captivated Bezos. He registered the URL in September 1994 and kept it. Other names Bezos mulled over include awake.com, bookmail.com, and browse.com.
Oddly enough, if you type in relentless.com, it still takes you to amazon.com. Verified. Now, Crucible was developed by Relentless in Seattle, but New World was created by a separate Amazon game studio in Irvine, California, built after the company acquired the Double Helix game in 2014. With that said, the good intentions are there, But the company's really going to have to meet the bar, not only being set by the standards, but arguably more important, the bar being set by gamers who will play their games. Does throwing money at something really guarantee success though? If you go back to a game called Anthem, which I reference in a lot of my videos, Anthem was an online multiplayer action role-player and video game developed by BioWare and published by Electronic Arts, EA. The game was in development since 2012 and released in February 22nd, 2019, giving it a 7-year development time, which is crazy, right? It was estimated that EA spent over $100 million to make Anthem and probably over around $50 million at minimum to market it. While sure, Anthem anticipated a full year of last year's revenue to be between $93 million and $94 million, not counting other years. It begs the question of retention. How many of you still play or even think about Anthem anymore? I'm sure there's a few, but the reputation that it established at the launch of its disastrous unfinished product release severely hurt the chances of the game being amazing, and EA finally gaining some possible positive trust back from the gaming community despite the fixes and upgrades they eventually gave the game to try to save it from total failure. So how can Amazon be successful and really make the mark in the gaming industry? I understand there's a lot of politics when it comes to this subject, and I'm not going to approach this in that way. I'm going to approach this strictly as a gamer, from a gamer's perspective based on the many years of experiences that I've had with games and other game companies. So like the Anthem example, there have been many countless games with money thrown at them, but the judgment in terms of the overall gamer opinion, most have failed on both short and long runs. For that reason, I think it's clear money by itself does not equal success. Most gamers are very skeptical now about the things that we see and hear. We just don't believe developers anymore. We have to see it. And even some gamers don't believe it. We have to play it. There's so much more to it. But I will say that having more money does open up more doors and allow for better development if a company understands the gamers and what they want, check the right boxes. That is crucial first, and then add everything else later. The success of Crucible, and to some more importantly New World, will be the start bar and a starting point used by all of us to formulate our opinions and plans to either support or not the further development for future content by Amazon. Their responsibility though is twofold. Not only do companies need to be heavily aware of their gamer base as a whole, but we as gamers need to be mindful of ourselves and understand that things are going to mess up sometimes. There will be bugs, there will be exploits, there will be crashes. You can throw $1 trillion at a game and I still wouldn't be surprised to find a bug here or there somewhere in the entirety of the MMO. With that being said, it's not really that kind of stuff that frustrates us as gamers as a whole. It's how the company handles our issues, our ideas, our concerns or complaints, and the time frame in which they're handled. If I find a bug and I report it to you, I don't expect it to be fixed immediately, but I definitely expect it to be fixed in the next patch of the game. Amazon must learn a super important lesson from so many failed companies, is that you first have to learn the trust of us, the gamers. We have to trust you. And once you do that, things become so much more better and enjoyable. Take a lesson from Diablo 3 from Blizzard. The best-selling PC game of all time, broke all kinds of records, and was also, more importantly, the most pre-ordered PC game ever. Why? Because everyone who did that at the time trusted Blizzard and their ability to make games at that point. That didn't just happen. That was created over time. While I expressed my concern already for how things are being handled in New World, specifically in terms of communication, I understand that there may be things going on in Alpha that are alpha-related things that need to be corrected or final systems implemented in place before the beta starts. As when it does, it's rumored that there's going to be no NDA this time and the game will be under scrutiny of microscopes from all the content creators and testers alike. So for that, patience is a virtue here. But in closing, does Amazon really have what it takes? I mean, they don't really have the track record to go off of for most of us to be like, yeah, you guys know what you're doing. But they do understand business and they do understand customers, clearly stated by the customer relations that they have with their online shopping. So only time will tell. In the grand scope of discussion, one thing's for sure, not many games have the backing of $1 trillion company and one of the largest corporations in the world. So if anyone can do it, why not them? If you're new to the channel, please consider liking this video right down below. And if you're looking for more content based on Amazon, especially New World, which is the game I'm going to be covering for the most of, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell so that you can be notified of all the videos that I upload on the reg. And with that, we sit back, get our pail of popcorn, and hit the play button, and let's wait and see what happens. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the video. This is your boy D to the E, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Alright? Stay frosty, stay cool, stay up. Alright. Peace out.